Well, a week ago, Justin Allgaier picked up his third career win, a very aggressive move on a slowing Jacques Villeneuve, and he picked up his first road course win in the process at Montreal. And Little Gator is going to be our in-race reporter. And let's dial him up, DJ.
Justin, Dale Jarrett, ESPN. You with us?
Hey, Dale, go ahead.
All right, thanks for talking with us. Justin, a great victory for you last week. I know you come in here with a lot of confidence, the site of your first nationwide win, and that leads us to our mailbag question from John in Scottsdale, Arizona. Since you've had more success to start the second half of the season, what have you and your team changed to run at the top?
John, thanks for the question. I'll be honest with you, we've really not changed a whole lot. We've gotten rid of some bad luck that we had at the beginning of the season, and you know, everybody at Turner Motorsports is working really hard, and I feel like our program has come leaps and bounds over the last year and a half, almost 2 years that I've been here now, and really excited for about what these next few races hold to end out the season.
Hey, Justin, we saw you make a pretty aggressive move last week. Might it take something like that to get to victory lane here tonight?
No, it may. I'm not exactly sure. You know, we've obviously got the groove narrowed up on us quite a bit. So, you know, I think we're gonna go out there. We're gonna give it everything we got. But with this rain, I think you're gonna see a lot of guys see where it plays out, see where everything goes, and then, you know, coming down to the end, maybe get a little bit more aggressive and try and move somebody out of the way for the win.
All right, man. Thanks for talking with us. You have a great night out there. And now Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Jimmy Elledge.
Sounds great.
Hey, Jimmy, it's Andy. I got a couple things for you on this getting started. What about all this rain that's on the track, and how's that going to change your setup, and what do you have to do to adjust for it? And what's the chances we see more than one pit stop by the winner tonight?
Well, Andy, the rain is definitely going to change the track conditions for sure. The cars are going to be probably a lot looser in the beginning stage of the race. So we've just adjusted some air pressure a little bit. The setup that we ended up putting in our car was a little bit tighter than what we had in practice anyway. So with that being said, we're a little bit tighter there. Air pressures are adjusted for the first little bit of the race. And as far as someone doing a one-stop strategy, I think it's feasible for sure. But you just have to see how the racetrack sorts out here in the beginning until it gets rubbered in.
Okay, Jimmy, good luck with all those decisions and adjustments, and thanks for talking to us.
Here's all of our onboards for you. We have Elliott Sadler with the Chevy onboard, Austin Dillon with the American Ethanol camera, Ricky Stenhouse with there's Austin with the American Ethanol onboard, Ricky Stenhouse with the Ford EcoBoost onboard camera, Danica Patrick, GoDaddy.com, Brad Keselowski with the Dodge onboard, Justin Allgaier, our in-race reporter with the Goodyear onboard, Kevin Harvick with the Hunt Brothers Pizza onboard camera, Trevor Bain with the Nationwide Insurance onboard camera. Front tire carrier Matt Holtzbar for the number 31 is our over-the-wall reporter tonight. There he is, as he is deep in thought, getting ready for tonight's race. Matt, thanks for doing the job with us. Let's get caught up on the other stories on pit road. Mike, you're up.
Marty, with so many unknowns tonight, there are a lot of worried crew chiefs here on pit road. Jeremy Bullins, however, not one of them. No, instead, he's extremely confident. Why? Well, look at the guy he has behind the wheel of the 22 car tonight. He's the guy, Brad Keselowski, who has won the last 2 Sprint Cup Series races here. Bullins explained to me earlier today the reason he's so good here, he has a natural rhythm that just fits this place. That natural rhythm will be put to test as he looks for his 4th nationwide win of the season tonight. Vince Welch.
Joey Logano has been so close here at Bristol. Last August, he lost in a photo finish to Kyle Busch. In March, he led the most laps, but ended up 4th. Logano says it's about time he gets one at Thunder Valley, but they've not been real happy with their race car in practice. Crew Chief Adam Stevens says we've been about a half step off. We just haven't been able to find the sweet spot. They start 2nd. Logano, a 5-time winner this season, hopes they can make it good enough to get number 6 tonight. Marty.
Thank you, Vince. Let's also talk about the tricky pit road configuration here at Bristol, Andy.
Well, the one thing they haven't changed here at Bristol is having this 2 pit roads and how they combine it into one under caution. When the caution comes out, you actually make this thing just like one pit road. You enter off of turn 2 and you come all the way around the apron and you exit over in turn 1. And then when you come in under caution, under a green flag stop, it's unlike when you come under caution, you can actually just come down your prospective pit road and go back out on the track. If you're pitted on the front stretch, you just come in on the front. If you're pitted on the back, you just pull right back out on the racetrack.
Not up into the stands?
No, not like that.
All right, 1 car goes to the rear. That's the 87 of Joe Nemechek as he missed the driver's meeting. So on front, it'll be Trevor Bain, Joey Logano in that front row. Right behind him, Brian Scott, Austin Dillon. When the rain came through, obviously the temperature dropped, and we want to give you an idea just how warm it was before the storm and after.
You can see quite a difference because it's really cooled off here, and this is going to make for a fast racetrack, and they need to get a little bit of rubber down. We'll see some fast times here.
Yeah, that grip level definitely goes up when you see a track temp come down that much. You're talking about 30 degrees since qualifying.
And several of the drivers, Justin Allgaier, our in-race reporter, being one of them, said earlier that getting grip was very difficult. Now, the reason the lights are still on the pace car is we have one jet dryer that is finishing up on pit road. You can see right there as they are working to try and get that area dry.
Yeah, the only time they can work on this area is after the cars have rolled off on the track, so they had to wait until they're out there. Now the dryers are down there trying to put some finishing touches on pit road. I think the track looks good. Pit road looks pretty good. I think we're about ready to go.
Don't forget, we will have a competition caution at lap number 50. And the window without that caution would have been about, what, 150 to 160 laps. So now you've just bumped that even further. As you can see the high view up above, looking down on the racetrack, and lights are still on the pace car. So let's give us some time to talk about the track itself.
Yeah, and that's been the topic of conversation as they made some changes since we were here last. And that banking in the corner, certainly a topic of conversation. They took a couple of degrees away from that top, a very top groove.
So it's not 28 anymore. It's about 26 up there, I'm guessing.
So no, it was actually 30. And
it's back 30. Now we're down to 28. Well, there's still a lot of banking up there.
Still plenty of banking, still plenty of racing room, and it's going to be fun to watch.
51 of Jeremy Clements, they have got radio issues.
Well, one of the things that happened, we had a huge rainstorm here, and all these cars sit outside. And you get water in these radio cables and some of these other connections, it can really cause a lot of problems. Radios are very susceptible to this rain, and we're going to have to probably change out something here.
And NASCAR won't let you. You have to be in communication with your spotter to start these things. They're not going to let all of that happen.
Especially here.
Yes, you definitely need it.
Got to have a spotter.
Unplugged it to see if it was that.
You can hear the crew talking about what is happening. While that is going on, let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
You know, one of Andy Petrie's favorite sayings is it's all about the details. And Andy, take a look at what Ricky Stenhouse's crew has done. They sent a runner back to the truck to go get this mat, this piece of carpet right here. Why? Because Mike Kelly wants every crew member over the wall to come back on this carpet and rub their sneakers, their feet off, and get them nice and dry. So when they go out, because pit road's a little bit damp, they have some traction. You know, just going to get a piece of carpet could make a difference between slipping and falling on a pit stop and maybe not winning the race.
I'll tell you, Doc, that is a great detail that he's taking care of there, because I've only had one injury in my career changing tires. It was right here after a rainstorm going out on pit road, and I twisted my ankle and almost broke my leg.
Guys, I'm looking at Trevor Bain, our pole sitter. He has selected the inside. Does that surprise you?
Surprises me, yes, especially after watching the truck race the other night and watching practice today.
All right, lights are out on the pace car. Trevor in that number 60, the Tennessee Volunteer Orange. And alongside a five-time winner this year in the Nationwide Series, Joey Logano in that 18 Dollar General car. In fact, Dollar General, big presence here because Tennessee is their home state, their home headquarters. Pace car has pulled down. Fans are coming to their feet, and the cars are coming around out of turn number 4. And the Food City 250 is green. Takes about 16 seconds a lap, and the high side was it.
Yeah, it sure worked that time. I think Trevor ran the bottom side qualifying and was able to get the pole, and I think that he just figured that was where he needed to start, especially with no rubber up on the top yet.
Yeah, I think that might have been the decision, at least the reason for it, is because there was so many unknowns about how the racetrack was going to be, and he felt maybe safer or more secure on the bottom, but that outside lane was ready to go. Joey took definitely advantage of it.
Sam Hornish Jr. there in the 12, along with his teammate Brad Keselowski in the 22. Now Sam trying to slide back into position. And ahead of the 54 of Kyle Busch.
Boy, just saw Austin Dillon get really loose. He tried to make a big move, big run off of turn 4.
Look at the sparks off the 31 of Justin Allgaier.
Austin Dillon got a huge run in the middle of 3 and 4 and got to the inside of Ricky Stenhouse and tried to really gas it up and make the pass. and just didn't stick.
Probably won't be the last time you talk about sparks tonight either. I think we're going to store for a lot of them, not just rubbing the track.
Still side by side. This battle continues. That is 4th and 5th. Oh, contact, and into the wall goes last week's winner.
Oh, man, he wrecked us. Keep coming.
Caution is out.
That was right in front of points leader Elliott Sadler, who was able to get slowed down. Justin Allgaier not very and he gets loose.
Oh, even worse now. He's torn off the hole.
Yeah, he had damage, a lot of damage before that, but now he's got a tremendous amount.
Well, the tethers are doing their job, holding onto the deck lid there.
But you can see just how
calm down now. We got the deck lid hanging on the back here.
Get out of the black part of the track. Just no grip at all up there.
Yeah, that's the one thing they have done is that they ground that down, and even taking the 2 degrees of banking away has made some difference, but it's just ground down. It's just slick. It has no grip up there right now.
I walked up on the racetrack before practice and looked at it, and it is, like you said, Dale, it's just so smooth and slick. It's just hard to get any traction at all.
Well, this is what they were trying to do when they did that, was make the racing closer down into the corners. And I've talked to these drivers about that, and they said the entry to the corner is one of the things that's going to be most difficult. Now, this is the second part. He was actually trying to go up in Shood's displeasure, but there's no grip up there, just like we were talking about.
And he makes a bad situation worse.
Yeah. That's what this track will do to you.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, I've seen it do it to you a few times.
Me? Come on.
Still there. The 2 watching. Stay tight to him. Hold him down.
Kind of like what I was saying when we started, Marty, is that the racetrack has pulled the groove. The upper groove's still there, but it's just a little lower than it was, and it really narrows up the inside part of the racetrack.
And you heard someone, I assume it was his spotter, telling him to stay tight to him and hold him down. That you got to be careful in doing that. Yes, you can slow that car down, make it to where he can't be as aggressive trying to stay there, but you put him in a bad situation when he's trying to drive it down in there and turn the car, it gets loose, and then this is what can happen.
Yeah, the guy on the outside is the one that's got the most to lose in that situation.
Well, Justin is the first car torn up tonight. It won't be the last as they continue to try and get him back out there.
So much for that one-stop strategy for the 31.
Let's get another look from Elliott Sadler's car.
Inside, 3 wide, inside, dig in, yellow. Guy damage. No damage.
All right, let's get an update on the 3 from Vince Welch.
Austin Dillon already had a donut on the right side of that car. He's got a little bit of fender damage on the right front, but doesn't look to be any sort of a rub according to the spotter. And Austin says the car feels like it's handling fine. So even though they had a little contact, dodged a bullet there.
Let's go back and show you a little bit earlier.
Yeah, this is the big run I said about Austin Dillon. He got it through the middle of the corner and pulled all the way up beside Stenhouse. But you just need that extra 6 or 8 feet on the exit to make that pass.
Could there have been a little anger on Austin's part with the Allgaier incident?
I don't think there's any doubt that probably a little bit. He was getting crowded. You heard the spotter tell him to hold him down. And when you start getting crowded, it doesn't take long to lose your temper here.
And that's what you call major surgery, just trying to get the wounded back out under the action.
And they've been on such a nice roll with a lot of good finishes. Of course, the victory last week in Montreal. And this team was really on a roll. They weren't in the championship battle, but they had a lot of momentum and an opportunity to win tonight, they thought.
Started the day 68 points out of first place. Right now, he would be 101 back. All right, lights are out on the pace car. Let's reset it for you. Joey Logano, as the leader, has selected the high side. Surprise, surprise. Trevor Bayne down low. Here we go. Ricky Stenhouse trying to get around his teammate. That higher groove is definitely the preferred line. Uh-oh. Oh, a little contact between the two, and Stenhouse brushes the wall. That's not going to go over well.
This racetrack is extremely slick right now, especially the bottom side of the racetrack where there is less banking and no rubber down.
Cooler heads have prevailed for the moment. You see Brian Scott right underneath the 2 of Elliott Sadler. Ahead of them, Sam Hornish Jr. and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. side by side.
So Hornish trying to make a move there. Elliott Sadler trying to fill that top side of it. Yeah, he's going to be able to drive around Sam Hornish.
You can just see how much higher that 2 car is entering the corner than the 31 was when they got in trouble. Elliott looks like he's working the top edge of that groove.
That's exactly the groove he used here back in the spring to win this race.
Side-by-side action there with Brad Keselowski in the 22, Austin Dillon in the 3. Keselowski still not able to clear. This battle is for 7th on the racetrack.
So a lot of this kind of racing back in the spring, and whether it was in the nationwide race or the Cup race, Keselowski and Matt Kenseth put on a great show, and it just kind of led to Bruton Smith and the fans saying they wanted the cars to be even closer.
We had that on board. See that 33? Remember, Harvick started 13th. He's up to 9th.
Yeah, he's certainly somebody you have to keep an eye on. He knows how to get the job done here.
The 54 of Kyle Busch right behind the 33. Let's get an update on that 33. How about it, Dave Burns?
Buddy, all that stacking up at the beginning of the race that caused the first yellow. Kevin radioed his crew. He said, hey, the car feels good. There's just nowhere to go. I think he's starting to find his way through now.
Well, 3 of his 5 Bristol wins came from starting positions outside the top 10. So he knows how to get to the front here. Car slow on the front stretch. The 50 is actually David Starr's. He's gotten it down onto the apron. There you saw on the right side of your screen. There he is. And it was a touch and go for a moment, but it looks like we'll be able to stay green as he has made it to pit road. Several other cars are already off or out of this race. Jeff Green, Chase Miller, and Jeremy Clements has never turned a lap. They're still working on that radio. There is your race leader, Joey Logano. He led 100.
There, it looked like about a team.
He was running 8th at the time. Let's show you what happened.
Racing it got really tight with the lap car.
It's Brad Teague, and he was kind of he boxed a lot of cars in. He had Brian Scott boxed in, and he lost a spot. And then these two came up racing side by side.
You can see in this, Brian Scott had gotten loose getting down in the corner, and as Keselowski turned to try to get away from the 4 car, they just met and sent Brad Keselowski spinning.
Brad won 2 of the last 3 races that he has entered in this series this season. Doesn't look so good tonight right now, as we've completed 29 of 250 laps. So there you get Brad's view of it, as he made it back to pit road. Several other cars are now off behind the wall. We can update you on those. David Starr, Scott Riggs, Josh Wise has joined Green, Miller, and Clements. We can tell you that the 31 of Justin Allgaier also came down pit road under that caution. He's 5 laps down right now in 36th position.
There's 2 former Bristol winners already in trouble here.
Let's go back to that last pit stop that we were just talking about. Matt Holtzbar is our front tire carrier. He's our overall wall man, too.
Sound of coming home. The sound of coming home.
Well, that's a first. I don't remember anybody singing before. Matt can actually carry a tune. All right, here we go again. It's Joey Logano, and he takes the high side with Bain right underneath him. And boy, what a restart for Joey. And here comes the 2 of Elliott Sadler.
It's kind of the break that Elliott Sadler was needing. He was having a hard time getting by Ricky Stenhouse, who was running third, but was running that upper groove. Now Sadler's able to take that second spot away.
Yeah, Elliott's car definitely loves that. And we got caution again on the track. We've got debris on the backstretch, and you can see it straight across. Oh, and the 36 just ran over it. There it is. Ryan Blaney hit it. And we're being told it is parts and pieces from the 31 of Justin Allgaier's car.
Yeah, you can see when we were showing that pit stop that the right front fender had some problems with it, but he's got more problems than that here, and that gets, when you hit the wall, usually going to create something like that.
So he's into the wall for the second time tonight. I don't think this is the kind of night Justin Allgaier was anticipating. Back here at the Food City 250, we have the race leader on pit road, Vince.
Joey Logano not happy with his race car. He says it's starting to snug up, but all in all, it's a little bit too free. Now remember, they've got a competition caution coming at lap 50, so they can't take fuel here. They just made the chassis adjustment and a 4-tire change.
Are you guys as baffled as I am?
Yeah, the only thing I can think is they want to get their tires now, and in 15 laps, less than 15 laps when we have the competition, then they're only going to get fuel and try to steal some track position that way.
Well, they'll be stealing it back. They were right there.
But it doesn't make much sense because they were probably, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, while we've got a moment, let's tell you what's coming up on the calendar because, of course, the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series will be here at Bristol at 7 Eastern tomorrow night on ABC. And then our next stop for the NASCAR Nationwide Series comes your way next week at Atlanta, 6:30 Eastern Saturday, and that is over on ESPN2. All right, let's listen in on the 18 radio. Maybe we can figure this out a little better, guys.
Why the hell did we do that? I think most guys are going to take 2 under this competition caution at lap 50. This will give us 4. Should put us out there with them.
All right, crew chief, you like this?
There's some logic to it. I'm not sure that everybody will pit at that lap 50 even. I think what the real strategy would be, if we hadn't had that, it would have been one pit stop, try to get to around that 100-lap mark, make a stop, and don't make another one. So we'll see if some people might even gamble on still staying with that kind of strategy.
Yeah, I was talking about getting track. They obviously had track position. I should have said kind of ensuring maybe that they would get back to the front with people doing different strategies, and they wanted to get 4 tires on their car and make an adjustment.
22's back in, Mike.
Yeah, lots of damage on the 22. In fact, they've cut the majority of the splitter off already. Looks like they're going to work on cutting the remainder pieces off because they've been dragging. They also pushed the nose in probably, I'd say, 6 inches. Both front fenders bent up a little bit. Also, the right rear quarter panel was bent in on the tire, cut down the right rear tire after the last pit stop. So still a lot of damage to repair here on Keselowski's machine.
All right, thanks for the update, Mike. And Brad right now 5 laps down, shown in 35th position. We can tell you Jeremy Clements finally got his issues resolved. He is back out on the track. He is 35 laps off the pace. All right, Elliott Sadler is your race leader, and he has taken the high side. Trevor Bayne still on the number 2 spot down low. Austin Dillon, Ricky Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, Sam Hornish Jr. That is your top 6. We're back to green. Should tell you, Joey Logano, 28.
Sure, when Elliott Sadler saw that 18 go to pit road, he was saying thank you very much because he was going to have to start on the inside with Logano as the leader, but here he's able to control the restart.
Trevor Bayne's got to be just wishing and hoping that he gets some time to start on that high side because Ricky Stenhouse got around him, and Trevor's back to 3rd.
And Trevor really doesn't even go to the top side after they get running or even the middle that much. He's been running a lot on the bottom. Heard him talk about his car being extremely loose as we see a pass on the inside by Kevin Harvick on Sam Hornish.
And remember, it was Harvick that started 13th.
One thing that's been happening here, these cautions, these hot tires on the cars are pulling all the rubber off the bottom side of the track when all the cars are running under caution. And they don't really pull it off that top lane. It takes a few laps for that bottom to come back in and get rubber back up.
On board with Austin Dillon. 6 of Ryan Blaney suffered no ill effects from running over the debris for our last caution. Also, you see Cole Witt there in the 88. He's running side by side with the 40 of Eric Darnell, at least for a moment. Now he falls behind. Caution out again. Our 4th caution of the night. We're waiting to hear from NASCAR what the reason for the caution is. We're looking around the track. Something on the 81. Okay, we're being told that the 81 made some contact. You can see the damage. Let's see what happened.
NASCAR now saying that they'll use this as the competition yellow since it's so close to that 50 lap mark.
Yeah, that's a reason for a caution there. But yeah, it happened so fast we didn't get to see it.
It'll be interesting to see what everybody chooses to do. This competition caution.
Jason Bowles in that 81 was running in 23rd position.
As you said, Andy, will they do anything at all?
Joey Logano was 22nd after making that stop. You see Elliott Sadler's committed to pit road. Looks like the 6 cars staying out. It's like a lot of cars pitting, a lot more than I thought. I figured more would stay out. Mike?
Cole Witt heading down pit road now. Pretty happy with his race car. Has been moving up steadily through the pack. Not at all experiencing what he had in practice. He had a loose race car, but the car has been rather neutral throughout this run. A 4-tire change on the 88, Dave.
Elliott Sadler already gone. You saw the chassis adjustment. He's very happy with the race car. Crew Chief Luke Lambert telling him we're going to stick to our plan, which was to take no fresh tires. Vince?
For Kyle Busch, Kyle says he just can't get it to dig in and be good, especially on the bottom. They discussed a track bar or wedge adjustment, instead decided to just go with an air pressure change. 4 tires for Kyle Busch, Doc.
Right side tires only for Trevor Beatty. He said, guys, if this car is so free, I can't get after it on the restart. Right side tires, track bar adjustment, and try to tighten him up.
So as everybody comes back out onto the racetrack, we'll sort everything up. There is the race off pit road, and you can see Brian Scott, Casey Kane picked up 3 spots each. Back here at the Foot City 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway, fans, remember to check out Race Buddy. Enhanced coverage for select Nationwide Series races with a lot more cameras than ever. Just log on to NASCARNationwideSeries.com/RaceBuddy. All right, let's check in with Dr. Jerry Punch on the strategy of the 6 team.
Yeah, Mike Kelly kept Ricky Stenhouse on the track. And Mike, why leave him out there?
Well, we're hoping to get some track vision here with the NOS Ford Mustang getting out front here, trying to lead a bunch of laps. And we're not in a fuel window or nothing. Tire wear was really good in practice. And just hoping to log a bunch of laps out front, kind of get away from this mess behind us.
All right, maybe a 1 pit stop race for these guys.
I like that strategy. I liked it. I was surprised that more people didn't use that. They're not, like I said, this didn't put anybody in a fuel window by making this stop.
Ryan Blaney also stayed out. Joey Logano's strategy, his team paid off. He is now back up to 3rd. Elliott Sadler will restart 4th. Rick Crawford in the 74 will be in 5th, and Trevor Bayne rounds out your top 6. Kevin Harvick took only 2 tires, but they were left side tires. He will restart in the 7th position. And we've just been told that NASCAR is adding 1 more lap to this caution. The 31 of Justin Allgaier got the free pass. He is now 4 laps down. I can tell you Brad Keselowski is 16 laps in arrears. He is 35th. So there you see the fact that we had no wave arounds. 31 total cars on the lead lap. And everybody will be going after Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on this restart.
Yeah, the fact that Stenhouse stayed on the track kept any cars from taking a wave around there.
Well, if you remember back at the March race, there were 4 total cautions for a total of 30 laps. We've had 4 cautions already tonight for 24 laps. Stenhouse takes the high side. You see Blaney right alongside. We can tell you the 74, Rick Crawford, pulled out of line. He has dropped back by choice towards the rear of the field. So that's why you didn't see him there in the spot that he had actually moved up into. Pace car has pulled off. Stenhouse hits the gas. Green flag flies. Whoa, Blaney got real loose.
Yeah, that bottom groove is just extremely loose, especially as they try to get up to speed after these restarts.
And remember, he did not stop to take any tires, so he's paying a bit of a price right now. Casey Kane has gotten around him in the 38.
Yeah, Casey Kane in that 38. His car was pretty good in practice. He didn't get a good qualifying effort, but we certainly expected him to be up in the top 5 battling for a win tonight.
Joey Logano in the 18 underneath the youngster. And there's Trevor Bayne in the 60 as we go on board with Trevor.
See just how difficult that is to make this pass on the bottom. Logano's sitting there with a fast race car, has 4 tires on it. Ryan Blaney hasn't been to pit road yet, so you know his tires aren't as good, but he can't make the pass.
And see Stenhouse out front. No tires, didn't hit that time. Mike Kelly saying that he didn't see much tire wear. Speed's still there. So is the 2 car also. He didn't get tires. He just got fuel on that last stop.
And Kevin Harvick, the 3rd car in that picture. Harvick has led more laps here at Bristol than any other Nationwide Series driver. 1,075. He has yet to lead tonight. Let's check in on this battle a little farther back in the field. The 54 of Kyle Busch going around the 99 of John West Townley and zeroing in on the 11 of Brian Scott.
Yeah, Kyle's going to have to be able to utilize the bottom of the racetrack some to make some passes from where he's at.
And you can see how difficult that is. I mean, Joey Logano, who's leading the race, has really one of the best cars. Really having a hard time trying to get by Ryan Blaney.
And this is for 5th on the track, and he finally clears here. Checking in on Austin Dillon and Sam Hornish Jr. And a spinner on the back straightaway. The 11 of Brian Scott.
Lock it down. All right, go ahead, keep rolling here, keep rolling.
So now we have our 5th caution of the night here on lap number 63. And
got
Brian,
similar damage to what we saw on Brad Keselowski's car front end.
He was running 8th. Let's take another look.
A little help.
Enough to send him sideways, and oh, he did punch the nose a little.
Yeah, that's more than a little, I think. He's going to have a few issues with that.
Yeah, I don't think Brian's going to be real happy with Kyle right now. Danica Patrick and Michael Nick get around.
That's a lot of the racing that we fans are accustomed to seeing here at Bristol. Those types of things as drivers, especially on that inside, have to really get a run.
Well, we mentioned Danica Patrick. Well, she started back in this field. In fact, in the 34th position. Right now, she's worked her way up to 15th as we head to break. Well, I'll tell you the truth. After Wednesday's truck race where they had, well, like 80, 85 laps green at the outset, not the case tonight. This is more like the Bristol everybody remembers where we have cars going every which way but straight. This is the latest incident. Kyle gets into Brian Scott, and we are only 66 laps into this race. We welcome you back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Food City 250 here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. We've got multiple winners here at Bristol, and here's where they're currently running. You see Sadler and Harvick, Casey Kane, and Kyle Busch. They're in the top 10. Then you drop down to Kevin LePage, Justin Allgaier, Brad Keselowski, and Jeff Green is out of this race. Let's get an update on that 11. How about it, Dave?
Marty, radiator fine, temperature's fine, steering fine, splitter dragging the ground. The crew trying to figure out how to bend things back out so that splitter is just not completely digging into the pavement.
Well, That is some good news. Meanwhile, let's check in on the 54 radio. Here's Kyle Busch.
That was my bad. That was really my bad.
Well, at least Kyle knows and fessed up and said didn't mean to do it, but he did. All right, pace car has pulled off. 22 car is starting back in the back of the field. It's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the high side, your race leader, with Elliott Sadler alongside.
Sadler was really hoping he might could clear Casey Kane to get back to that high side. So far, not able to do it.
The reason the 22 went to the rear of the field, too fast entering pit road.
You do not want to be on that bottom lane of these restarts. You can just see how much of a disadvantage it is.
Yeah, so far, the best you've been able to do is come out third. Joey Logano right in front of the 36, and he's able to clear it. Ryan Blaney.
Logano keeps trying to make that bottom side work, and it's quite obvious if you're going to make passes, that's where you're going to have to get your car working.
I think it will work after they run a few laps. But those first 2 laps, 3 laps after a restart, that bottom's just not there.
I'm not sure it's going to be there. I think you've got to have just an exceptional car, and I'm just not sure there's the banking and the grip that you need down there to make it happen.
The battle for 11th, Sam Hornish Jr. trying to clear John West Townley, and he does.
I think you can make some passes depending on who you're racing. See a little contact now. Eric Darnell, Nelson Piquet Jr.
PK trying to make that low side work. Both of them wiggle a little. PK, of course, won the truck race last week. Won earlier this year at Road America in the Nationwide Series. Said he wanted to run this racetrack because he needed to. Needed to learn more.
Well, he started off the first practice for the Truck Series race here on Wednesday. He was the top of the board, so he kind of carried some momentum from that win over here in Bristol, but didn't have that good a night.
Let's see how Danica's car is handling. Watch her arm movements.
Telling you to make a pass on the bottom side tonight, unless you're just much better than someone else. If your cars are somewhat close to equal, you're going to have to use your car to make that happen. You're just going to have to put the bumper to them, slide up, get them out of the groove. Vince, how about Danica?
Yes, she hasn't really said much in regards to complaints about the car. Actually says it's not too bad, but they've just been dealing with so much traffic. She started 34th. She's inside the top 20, but as you know, guys, and you see, there's not a lot of room to maneuver. So right now on the bottom, trying to get up on that top side where she can run a little bit faster, but just not getting it there right now. So Danica, no major complaints, but not moving at least up as far as she'd like in this early stage.
Yeah, Michael Annette has been there for the last 4 or 5 laps, and she just cannot find a way to clear him.
I think you can make time on the bottom. You just can't do it in race cars. I think if you can get in the clear, you can run the bottom as long as you can let the car go out on the straightaway.
There you see Michael's cycle for the race tonight, as these two continue to go door handle to door handle.
Yeah, and she's doing a nice job. And as much as I saw this team struggle during practice, I think she's doing an exceptional job, even though they've had cautions here to keep on the lap, but she's been able to race pretty hard and make some passes.
And she really struggled on the Cup side. She will start 43rd tomorrow night. On the right side of your screen, let's check in on Casey Kane, who's trying to hold on to second place. Elliott Sadler, who's trying to take it away. Joey Logano took a peek under the 33 at Kevin Harvick on the right side there.
And this is where the frustrating part comes for Sadler. He's got a little bit faster car than Casey, but what's he going to do with it?
Yeah, you're just going to, as I said at the opening of the show, I think you're just going to have to use the bumper. It's like it used to be when you were racing on the bottom. It's just moved to the top now.
Well, these 4 cars are all chasing Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's got a 1-second lead, and that's the biggest lead we've had. During the commercial break, the lead is tightened up, and you're saying, whoa, wait a minute, how'd the 18 Joey Logano get all the way up there? Let's watch this before we show you how the 2nd through 5th place positions shuffled during the commercial, because Joey's 4 tires are working.
Yeah, they're starting to pay off for him right now. He made that move, that strategy move where he made that pit stop before everybody else, before the competition yellow, got the 4 tires and then stayed out.
And remember, Stenhouse stayed out at the competition caution and is still on the original tires.
Yeah, and that's where you're seeing this advantage wasn't apparent. The tires weren't until they've run quite a few laps, and now it's starting to show up.
That battle continues. Kevin Harvick, we can tell you now, is in third place. Casey Kane fourth. Elliott Sadler and Kyle Busch round out your top 6. All right, looks like we're going to have enough time now. There's some gap between first and second. Let's go back during the break, show you how second through fifth change positions.
Yeah, we saw lap traffic. Joey Logano go down on the inside, but this is where it's really all going to change right here. As you can see, 2 lap cars around. Logano was in the right spot. Kevin Harvick followed him through, picked up a couple of spots also.
Yeah, right place, right time.
Yeah, and lap traffic's going to tend. It used to play a big part when we talk about the old track. When you were on the bottom and had to go around someone on the outside or run up on that, then you can lose your spot because it was extremely slick there. Going to continue to play a big part throughout this night.
Now, do you see just how much ground this 18 made up on this 6 car of Stenhouse? I mean, he did it really quick, and now he can't get by. He's got a lot better car, fresher tires, and that bottom is just, you cannot hardly make the pass down there.
Well, we all sort of scratched our head when Adam Stevens brought the 18 of Joey Logano in early for that pit stop, but Adam gets an attaboy because the strategy's paying dividends right now.
Yeah, and I know that Joey Logano right now is probably trying just to be as nice as you can, doesn't want to get himself or Ricky Stenhouse in a bad position. But at some point in time, you're just going to have to drive up there and move the guy to make that pass from the inside with cars that are pretty equal.
And there's Brad Teague again, lap traffic. That's always an issue here. Oh, and he slides up and a slight contact with the 18.
Well, look at the run Logano gets off of turn 2. Just cannot make that clear or get clear on that car to make the pass. Like I say, late in the race, he'll get more aggressive with it.
Yeah, and the cars are strung out so much now that they're creating or catching lap traffic on a regular basis. Ricky Stenhouse being able to utilize that to his advantage right now.
That was Joey Gase in the 52 that they went around. Gase 31st, several laps down.
See Benny Gordon lap car there, and Elliott Sadler trying to work by him with Kyle Busch, Casey Kane.
Sadler was finally able to get by Casey Kane, and Kyle Busch has followed his way and made his way through as Logano got a nose out front, but he hasn't made the pass.
Oh, and Mike Wallace is right there, and he's going to be the pick.
Get under. Still there, still there.
Mike gives some ground.
Clear, atta-way, bud, atta-way. Back into your rhythm now.
Logano clears, and now the 6 of Stenhouse has to get around the 01.
And that's the other way you can make a pass on the inside is when you get a pick from the high side.
And Wallace isn't making it real easy. They're still side by side. So as it looks like now, he's finally gotten around Mike Wallace, who is in 21st position, the first car 1 lap down. Why don't we go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance? And Doc, I think you're up first.
Thank you, Marty. The reason Ricky Stenhouse couldn't do anything with Logano and had trouble getting by Mike Wallace is Ricky says the car is really tight from the center up off. Very, very tight. They want to take a little bit of wedge out on their first and maybe only pit stop coming up the next yellow. Dave.
For Elliott Sadler, just think about where he was last year. No wins on the year and 3rd in the championship. This year, he leads the points, and he's got 4 wins under his belt. The car's been very good. Remember, their strategy on the first stop was they took no tires, just fuel. They said their window opens about lap 105 for a final stop. Vince?
Coming into this race, Austin Dillon was 4th in points, and in the last 3 races, he'd gone from 1 point out of the lead to 35 out of the lead. So he's looking for a big bounce-back race tonight. He had him tighten him up during that first pit stop, but he says, I'm still a little bit too loose. He'd like to be snugged up again on the next stop, Doc.
And back hanging in the top 10, there's Sam Hornish Jr. right there in the blue car. Sam says, you know, the car was sliding the rear end when he got back in the throttle. They made a wedge adjustment on the pit stop. It's better, not as good as it needs to be. Marty?
Caution on the racetrack, guys. Our 6th of the night. The 41 of Fane Skinner has gone around.
Nice and easy. Back up a little bit.
He was 24th, 1 lap down at the time of this incident.
Run down the back, guys. Didn't hit anything. Get her going here. We'll be to you.
All right, let's take another look.
Just got loose.
Yeah, just tried to get in the throttle hard in the center of the corner. Lost traction.
Different angle, same result. While you get one more look, we'll tell you that the 86 of Kevin LePage will get the free pass. Did a nice job of keeping it off the wall. But it is our 6th caution of the night here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
We talked about Danica Patrick a little bit, showing her racing back there. She's still racing for Michael Annette in the 43, but she's done a really nice job. That was a pretty long green flag run. She did really well, stayed on the lead lap, and it's moved herself up into the 16th spot.
Yeah, Michael and Danica now 15th and 16th, respectively. You can see a number of the teams are gearing up because with 135 laps to go, you're inside your window, crew chief.
Yeah, everybody's inside that window. This is a good break for Stenhouse because he has not made a pit stop yet. This falls perfect for them to make that now and not make another one. All the other cars did make a stop, but they still couldn't make it from there. They can make it from here, though.
Do you dare take 2, or do you want 4 for 135 laps?
Well, definitely for Stenhouse, he needs to get 4. We saw some of the other cars take 2 of that last time, and they had a chance to look at their tires, see what they look like. Look at the lap times, though. These tires are falling off a little bit, and we saw the 4 tires on the 18 really kind of take over after they'd run a lot of laps. So I want 4 on my car. If I'm up in the front, that's a pretty easy decision to make. If you're up front, I would want 4 tires.
Do you want 4
as a driver? I'm going Rusty Wallace way. I want 4 tires. He was the man here, so absolutely, yes.
Yeah, Rusty always wanted those 4 fresh Goodyears. Tell you what, tomorrow night, Brad Keselowski's going to run a paint scheme in honor of Rusty's career. 9-time winner here at Bristol. It is sharp if you had not seen qualifying earlier today. And it looks like here it comes, everybody down pit road. And as they make their way 30 miles an hour, here's pit road speed. And Mike, we're going to send it to you.
And Ryan Blaney enjoying a very solid night running inside the top 10. Comes down pit road for the first time this evening. They'll make a 4-tire change and take a full load of Sunoco race fuel. They can make it from here on a 1-stop strategy, Dave.
Remember, on the first stop, Kevin Harvick took 2 left side tires, so this time it's 2 right side tires. Full of Sunoco fuel, he's already gone. Vince?
Your race leader, Joey Logano, says he's too loose on exit. He wants Adam Stevens, the crew chief, to help his exit, but don't hurt my center because it's just fine. It's going to be a 4-tire change, an air pressure adjustment, and Sunoco fuel, Doc.
And Ricky Stenhouse said we're loose in, but more importantly, we're tight in the middle enough off. They're going to take just a hint of wedge out. 4-tire change. There goes the wedge out. And in front of him, Trevor Bayne said, hey, we're snapping loose. Going to pull a rubber out of the right rear to soften the right rear spring. Stenhouse is down, Logano down. Trevor Bayne still being worked on, guys.
Yeah, Bayne is really still stuck there in pit road. A very slow stop. And the 2-tire strategy for Kevin Harvick pays big dividends. Will it pay big dividends come checkered flag time? We'll find out. After 120 of 250 laps, our 6th caution continues, and a lot of action on pit road. Let's show you as we had several incidents. Joey Logano first, guys.
Yeah, Joey Logano is exiting his pit stall. You can see the 12 crew down there is changing tires. He just nicks the tire carrier.
And then watch the 38 of Casey Kane, the 3 of Austin Dillon.
Yeah, when Hortus group finally gets done, he pulls out, and Casey Kane's trying to avoid him and gets into Austin Dillon in the 3.
And we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. And we'll find out if 2 tires works for Kevin Harvick, as he is the race leader, picks the high side. Joey Logano underneath, behind him, Stenhouse, Sadler. Joey may make history if he can stay in second. That inside position has usually been dumped to 3rd.
He hasn't held on to it yet.
So Kyle Busch is down low as well, and you're right, he still hasn't been able to hold on to it. Here comes Stenhouse in the 6 car.
I tell you, Elliott Sadler's flirting with that part up there that was ground down. He keeps running in there pretty hard, trying to get by Logano, and finally makes it work.
He is way up there. I mean, he is right on the edge of that where we think the track is good.
There you see side by side with the 54 Kyle Busch, the 30 of Nelson Piquet Jr. on board with Austin Dillon running 7th.
Have to be impressed with Nelson Piquet Jr. doing a great job up here inside the top 10.
Chris Carey making the calls on that car. He decided to get 2 tires that last stop and got a little track position for Piquet.
Back in March, he won the K&N East race here at Bristol, and he's run 2 truck races, including Wednesday night. He finished 18th. Dave, give us an update on that 30.
And Marty, even that marginal finish on Wednesday, Nelson told me this morning it was great for him to be able to compare that truck to this car because the things he was doing were similar. Some were good, some were bad. But all that lap experience has helped him be very confident on this half-mile oval.
You see he's opened up a bit of a gap as the 60 of Trevor Bayne is now door handle to door handle with the 3 of Austin Dillon, and Casey Kane in the 38 lurking.
All these drivers with fresh tires, they know that they need to strike right now and try to make some gains while they possibly can, especially if you're going to run that bottom side. I would think that now would be a time that you might have enough grip to try to make a pass, but you can see Trevor Bayne headed the wrong way.
Now Austin Dillon took a peek down low. Well, you're right. Trevor just can't get enough to get the pass done.
No, and I think Andy used the word discipline earlier about what you have to be as a driver here in this situation. But again, it's back to the same thing. It's just reversed. Where it used to be on the bottom, now it's on the top. And you just have to pick and choose whenever you might try to make that move. But you have to be careful or you'll give up a spot from a driver right behind you.
Well, now Casey Kane takes a look down low underneath the 3. Thinks better of it, at least for the moment.
Yeah, it looks like you got all the room in the world in the middle of the corner to make that pass. But what happens is the track really narrows up on the exit, and you need that extra 8 feet that car's occupying up next to the wall.
You know, one thing we hadn't talked about, the crew swap of the 30 and the 38 for Turner Motorsports. And Trent Owens is now the crew chief on that 38 car, and he was gushing about being able to work for the first time with Casey Kane.
I would too. I'm not even a crew chief. I think he'd make me look pretty good. But no, you have to understand that's good to get someone like a Casey Kane who runs extremely well here also. Vince, how about that 38 tonight?
Yeah, he said it's just a little bit too tight in the front during that last run. They made some pretty significant changes to that car to try to make it a little bit better for Casey because they feel like they've got something to work with if they could just get it to turn a little bit better. Of course, that's the secret here at Bristol. Everybody wants it to turn a little better. But you were talking about Trent Owens and working with Casey Kane. Trent told me just as Casey was climbing in the car, I don't get too excited about much, but I got excited when they told me I was going to work with Casey Kane. They're happy.
Well, they should be because they are running pretty good right now as that battle continues between those 3, and they're all chasing Kevin Harvick. He is leading Elliott Sadler by just 0.2 of a second. He is the winningest driver in Nationwide Series history here at Bristol. He's got 5. Does he get 6 tonight?
The weekend of racing continues at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tomorrow, it's the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, 7 o'clock Eastern on ABC. And, of course, next weekend, it's the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Atlanta under the lights, 6:30 Eastern. That is Saturday night on ESPN2. We have 105 laps to go here at Bristol tonight. Kevin Harvick is out front. But, Ray, eyes on that 2 car.
Yeah, we're looking at Elliott Sadler currently running 3rd. Great position. He's showing that wisdom of being a veteran out there, doing what he has to do to protect that point lead. Spoke to Elliott today. Super happy about the relationship with his crew chief, Luke Lambert. Got a lot of faith in this young man, making some good calls, keeping that car up there.
I'll tell you what, I'm taking a look at Nelson Piquet Jr., guys. I really like the way he's looking in that 30 car. He's been running anywhere between 5th and 10th throughout the night. Really having a clean run. You know, he had an opportunity to win the K&N race here back in March. Got a little experience in track. He ran the truck race the other night. Got some more experience, but this guy's very, very talented. best known as a good road racer, but really good.
And earlier in the day, we talked about Danica Patrick. She had her hands full in practice. She had her hands full in qualifying. She started 34th, but look where she is now, Brad, up to 13th.
Really getting some quality seat time here for Danica Patrick, up almost 20 positions. She's doing an excellent job racing through traffic, and right now she's holding a pretty wheel. She's doing a great job for Danica.
A pretty wheel.
Absolutely,
Vince,
Danica's
you hear
doing a
that?
great job.
A pretty wheel in the 7 car.
Hey, you know, something else that's impressed me is the way, not just the way Danica's come up through the field, but Tab Boyd, her spotter, really working well with her tonight, helping her with traffic, helping her to anticipate what's ahead of her and what's behind her, helping her with her marks. And another thing that impressed me about Danica before the race, despite all the things that have gone wrong, her attitude was very positive about the challenge that was facing her tonight. Marty?
100 laps to go. Thank you, Vince. We have a total of 20 cars on the lead lap. 8 cars are out of this race officially. And they're all chasing Kevin Harvick right now, who just keeps continuing to add to his total laps led. It came into tonight at 1,075, and he has already led 35 more. But there's Joey Logano lurking and looking to strike and take the lead.
Yeah, at some point in time, this lap traffic is going to determine who may be in front when it comes time to win this race. The lap traffic usually is moving to the inside, but they're on the outside, they're in the middle, and everywhere here, and it's making it difficult for these leaders to anticipate that. We could see that change up front.
Sounds like to me you'd be laying some bumpers on somebody.
Well, you're going to have to do that. You know, you don't want to create an accident, but it's hard to anticipate where they're going.
Well, you can see Kevin has now gone from the high side down to the low side to get around the 81. Joey Logano also clears. There's the 2 of Elliott Sadler trying to negotiate the lap traffic. 96 laps. It has been a rough night for a couple of former winners here at Bristol. The 31 of Justin Allgaier, he tagged the wall not once but a couple of times. How about Brad Keselowski as he gets turned around? He also is like 21 laps down in 33rd place. And poor Brian Scott got turned by Kyle Busch. Kyle came on and said, my bad. But he's 46 laps down. Meanwhile, the race leader is Kevin Harvick. He is our 5th different leader. We've had 7 lead changes. A total of 6 cautions for 37 laps. The 18 car right behind him there is 2nd place Joey Logano. There you see the lap leaders as Ricky Stenhouse has led the most so far. Biggest movers of the race, Joe Nemechek. Remember, he started at the back of the field, missed the driver's meeting. Danica Patrick, 19 spots. And here are the series standings as they run right now. It would still be a 22-point lead by Elliott over Ricky at this stage. But still, we have 83 laps to go. And there it is, 1st and 2nd in your screen as they close on Timmy Hill in the 15th. First 68 laps, 5 cautions. The last 100 laps, 1 caution. Has everybody calmed down?
Yeah, but it's getting ready to ramp up.
Yeah, these lap cars are still a big-time problem for the leaders. They're supposed to lay over to the inside, let the leaders pass on the outside, and they're just not doing that because the preferred line the faster line seems to be up, and they're catching these lap cars and they're staying up in that top lane. That's been a big problem for them.
Side by side, Joey had a look for a moment. He's going to try it again. Here comes, he's going to try and use the 31 as a pick. Kevin says no way.
Well, Justin Allgaier did a nice job of slowing down and giving.
Happened so far, and we'll start with those early cautions.
Oh, you see Brad Keselowski out there trying to make a pass, just kind of run out of room and takes a nice slow spin. We thought he was going to be okay. He got that front end into the wall a little bit.
Kyle Busch accidentally gets into Brian Scott there. Kyle said it's my fault. Brian drives away, though. He's still racing hard.
Danica Patrick doing a good job moving up from the back of the pack, missing the wrecks. Really close right there.
That said, she just stopped under this caution. Too fast exiting for Danica.
Man, she was doing so well. Moved up 20 positions. Too bad.
Another one of those pit road issues.
Yeah, scary right here. Anytime a car is that close, makes contact with pit crew members, you can see a little bit of damage from that tire on Joey Logano's left front, but thank goodness nobody was hurt on pit road.
You see this right here. Yeah, you see the 38 Casey Kane gets stuck between Sam Hornish and Austin Dillon. All 3 of those guys got a little bit of a scrub up.
And the strategy coming into play here. Elliott Sadler wanted 2 tires. He got 4, and he watched his teammate, Kevin Harvick, drive by and out to the lead. What do we make of Kevin Harvick's strategy so far today? Because, Ray, I know you like it.
I think Kevin was doing a great job because if you look at it early around lap 50, when everybody else took 4 or none, he put on left sides. And then he came in later when they pitted around lap 119 or it was to get in his fuel window, he put his right sides on, got that track position, he's been out front.
And the track has really changed over the course of this one. At the beginning, it was very loose all over. Now we're seeing the top line starting to come into play a little bit more.
Yeah. I really didn't expect it either, Brad. Do you? I thought that the bottom lane will be better, and the bottom lane's no grip at all. So they're really concerned about that right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. That top lane seems to be holding a little bit more. We see Elliott Sadler, though. He's getting higher and higher. I think by the end of the night, he's going to be up near the wall.
Kevin Harvick back driving with Richard Childress Racing. 32 of his 37 Nationwide Series wins have come for RCR, Marty.
And let's listen in on his radio.
When you're in traffic and you both roll the bottom, you beat them. You beat them to the bottom when you both are rolling the bottom past the cars.
And we should update you as far as pit strategy from 11th through 18th. And that's the 18 cars that we have on the lead lap. They all stopped and took tires. And as you heard, Danica Patrick was in that group, but she will have to start at the back of the longest line for her speeding penalty.
Yeah, it looks like Logano might have a little better car than Harvick, but Harvick's done a great job of managing the race so far, but it's going to get tougher and tougher as we get closer to the end.
And we just got word Nelson Piquet is going to have to go to the back. They had an uncontrolled tire outside the pits box, so he will join Danica at the rear of the field. All right, we heard from Kevin Harvick. How about second place, Joey Logano? Let's listen in.
It was tight. Then all of a sudden, light switch to the loose side. Like it was all of a sudden. Just gotta take care of the rears. There.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, these tires get laps on them, and especially here, it seems like that right rear, it just takes its toll on it.
Yeah, especially as you're trying to run that bottom and make a pass there, then you heat that right rear up. And that's going to be an issue because Kevin Harvick's not going to let him go to the top side unless they run up on some traffic.
All right, Kevin Harvick, as the race leader, has selected the high side. Long side is Joey Logano. And then it's Elliott Sadler, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Busch, Casey Kane in row 3, Austin Dillon, Cole Witt, Ryan Blaney, and Michael Annett round out. It's your top 10. Pace car has pulled off. Harvick leads them around. And here we go. Well, that's the best restart we've seen by the car on the low side, but still not enough. But at least he got into second rather than what we've seen most of the time, dropping all the way to third.
Joey did a great job. I saw him clean, really work his tires, working them hard to get them clean on that restart, and it did pay off. He didn't get by the 33, but he did hold on to second, which is hard to do on these restarts from the bottom.
Harvick already trying to stretch a little ground. On board with Elliott Sadler in fourth. Three of Austin Dillon there for a moment. Here's Trevor Bayne. He's side by side with Sam Hornish, and right in front of the two of them is the 43 of Michael Annett.
Yeah, these are a couple cars that got fresh tires there on that caution. You might see them make some headway up there. I don't think they'll make it to the front, but this is the best we've seen Trevor so far tonight.
Looks like Trevor is going to be able to clear Annett. Maybe, maybe not. Battle for the race lead. Again, Joey Logano pulls even, but cannot get by on that low side.
When you see there the 6 car right behind him in third spot, we were talking about how high Elliott Sadler was running. I think that Ricky Stenhouse is taking this to another level. I don't know if his car is pushing that much. He's just kind of diming it, but they keep pushing that groove up higher and higher in the center of the corner.
Well, he told me before qualifying and before the rain, he really did like to run up there. And then, of course, everything changed after we had that heavy downpour. But right now, they are going up.
I just wonder how many laps you can put on these left sides and still have a good car. At 33, he's got about, I don't know, 30 laps, maybe 20, 30 laps more on his left sides than say does the 18. Actually, probably got more like 50 laps.
Well, he changed those left sides on lap number 47, and we have completed 187.
Yeah, I'd have to say that the likelihood that he'll get past if this continues under green for another 25 or 30 laps, that those tires that Joey Logano has on will take over.
So far, so good, though, for Kevin Harvick. Vince?
In fact, guys, just exactly what you're talking about. Crew Chief Adam Stevens told Joey Logano about Kevin Harvick's tire situation and said, just keep working him. You're going to get him eventually. Those tires are going to wear out. So be patient. You're going to get him. So they're thinking along the same lines as you guys are, or maybe it's vice versa.
I don't know if that's good for him or not.
Yeah, I know.
Like us.
I just think Harvick's doing a great job of managing the race and keeping the lead. It's going to be tough when they get to these lap cars. I think it can play into Harvick's hands.
We had a little bit of contact with the 60 and the 88. Trevor Bayne and Cole Witt. Let's go back and show you.
Yeah, it was about to be big coming off of turn 2. Trevor Bayne's been trying to get around this 88 of Cole Witt.
Ooh, that was just about big.
And that's what it's going to take trying to make a pass on the inside. I've been saying that, but you're going to have to get rough here as these laps wind down.
Watch him right here. Come on with it. Still out there, no caution.
That's the battle for 7th.
It's still going on. He
Yes,
finally looks like he's going to muscle his way by Cole Witt.
Cole Witt might get to his back bumper before he gets away.
I don't think he can.
There you see the 3 of Austin Dillon behind as well as he's side by side with the 43 of Michael Annett. And here comes Sam Hornish on the high side.
If you pull off one of those moves, you got to make it good by getting away or it can come back to you.
Well, as we have seen all night, running the low side is very difficult. Everybody's still chasing Harvick. He's led the most laps 7 times here. Guess who's led the most tonight? The 33. Get a good run there. You got it. Checking the calendar, don't forget, Sprint Cup Series action from right here at Bristol at 7 Eastern, Saturday night, tomorrow night on ABC. And then our next stop on the Nationwide Series comes your way from Atlanta, 6:30 Eastern, next Saturday evening over on ESPN2. 47 laps to go. Kevin Harvick is in front of Joey Logano. There's the gap between first and second. Then it's a full second back to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And as you can see, the previous longest streak, 27 races. It's been 28 since Kevin won in the series. Dave?
Marty, part of Kevin's success, he told me after practice today, was the exit of the corner is strong. He says, I put the pedal to the floor and I just leave it there. Now earlier, Joey was able to kind of pull up. In fact, they were telling Kevin he is beating you on the exit off of the corner. But Kevin's still believing in his race car, and most of the day, it's that corner exit that's been so good for the 33.
Thank you, Dave. That battle sort of has calmed down. This one's heating up. The 54 of Kyle Busch coming after Casey Kane.
Casey Kane was after Elliott Sadler. They came close to making contact, and then they were almost 3 wide off the exit of 2 with the 54 and the 38 in a lap car.
Kane is running 5th, Busch in the 6th position. And it has calmed down, at least for the moment.
I'll tell you where Kevin Harvick is so good is he's able to get through traffic better than anyone else that I've seen here tonight, too. That's one thing that's really benefited him. He can actually get away from Logano a little bit on that. But when they get back to just running, Logano is a little bit stronger.
Like Trevor Bayne made a good move by getting tires from that last caution. He started to move his way up, and he's starting to catch that group there with Kyle Busch and some of those other cars. I think he might have something for him here if he can go green.
Yeah, and I'm finally seeing him move up and getting that higher groove more than we've seen him all night. He's really got a lot of momentum coming hard towards the top 5.
Bayne is currently running in the 7th position as we keep our focus on the battle for the race lead.
Well, I think Harvick wants to run the bottom. I think his car might be a little quicker there, but he's going to open the door up for Logano if he keeps running on that bottom side.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to do that. I think that he's going to make Logano try to go to the inside, and this is whenever Logano has caught him, when there hasn't been lap traffic to negotiate.
They're coming up on a bunch of lap cars now. It's good to decide the lead.
On board with Harvick. They get around the 52 of Joey Gase again, safely.
Yeah, and I'd have to say the next time that Logano gets a good run and can get beside Harvick, he's going to have to rub on him a little bit. See if he can get him up closer to the wall, maybe in some of the slicker areas of the racetrack up top.
This battle continues. Joey can taste it, but he just can't finish it.
I think if Joey's patient enough, his opportunity will come. He's got a better car.
36 laps to go here.
This is going to be a mess right here. They're catching a bunch of lap cars.
Yeah, and I think Harvick made a decision right there that didn't benefit him.
He got pinched. Yes, sir. Jeremy Clements in that 51. The 18 of Logano was able to use him as a pick, and we have another lead change. So Joey Logano now has the point. We'll find out if Kevin Harvick can take it back. There's your top 5 with 34. 25 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and the race leader is the 18 of Joey Logano, and he had a 1.2 second lead, but the caution is out. The 99 of John West Townley.
Yeah, he hit the wall coming off turn 2. Got up out of the groove. This is the second time he's been in the wall. He got in the wall earlier, about 20 laps ago, and did not bring out a yellow, but this one did.
And I was just getting ready to talk about what you guys. Oh, and now he just blew out the tire on the right front.
You're down. All right.
So he'll be able to make it back to pit road. But Kevin Harvick had dropped 1.2 seconds behind. And you guys were talking earlier about how long those left side tires would hold out. I think we got our answer.
Yeah, you see what happened right here with Townley. It looks like they had a loose wheel. It finally broke the center out of it. It probably got him in the wall.
There he is at the top of the screen.
Yeah, it looked like maybe that tire had just finally, by being loose, it worked the center so much that it finally broke.
From Justin Allgaier's on board. Give you another view.
All clear. Slow top. Watch. Inside. Caution's out.
You can see right there, the whole center part of that wheel is just completely gone. Only thing holding it on now is the fender.
Well, he was 16th. He was the last car on the lead lap. He had a good run going. Let's check in on the 18 radio.
Really, sir, caution for that. I know what you're doing. Okay, buddy. You got plenty of fuel. Just keep your tires clean.
Well, obviously Joey was not happy that the caution came out because it wiped out his 1.2 second lead.
That's right, when you're the leader.
Well, we'll reset it for you, and there's what's left of that tire off of John West Townley's car, and I guarantee you that is a little warm on that rim.
Back at Bristol, Kevin Harvick had given up the lead to Joey Logano, but now he's had to give up so much more. Harvick on pit road, out of fuel, just now getting the car fired. They're trying to get the fuel pressure back up so that he can actually finish this race. Has lost all his track position, and ultimately, this race.
A lot of things happening there. I don't know why they would be. I mean, just less than 20 laps to go, but could have been out of fuel. Maybe they didn't get it full last time.
They may not have got it quite full. And the other thing that happens here, if you're close on fuel and you run up on the banking, this is a tremendous amount of banking. I mean, you could have 5, 6, 7 gallons of fuel in there, and it still starts up on the bank and starts sucking air, and then all of a sudden the thing won't run.
Well, this has changed the direction of the restart here dramatically, though, because Elliott Sadler was going to be in that 4th spot up there behind Joey Logano, who's going to take the outside, I'm sure. Now that's going to be Kyle Busch, and you've got 2 of the championship guys, Stenhouse and Sadler, is going to be on the inside.
And speaking of the championship, why don't we show you the points as they are right now. It would be 21 between Elliott and Ricky. Then 29 back would be Sam, and Austin would be 41. Dave?
By the way, Marty, teammate Elliott Sadler, they recommended to him that he might run on the apron just in case, that flat area where the pickup would work better.
Well, good point. One of the things that's going to shock you, that problem getting the car refired for Harvick, he has shown 1 lap down now in 16th position. So after leading all those laps.
His night was shot already when he had to come down pit road.
Yeah. So let's reset it for you. Joey Logano has the lead. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is 2nd. Elliott Sadler 3rd. Kyle Busch is 4th. Casey Kane 5th. Trevor Bayne 6th. Cole Witt, Austin Dillon, Sam Hornish Jr., Michael Annett round out your top 10, and Danica Patrick from 34th will restart 11th.
Yeah, had a pretty solid night. I'll tell you, they made some changes to her car. They changed the setup quite a few times. They went back to an older setup that they'd had to start this race, and she spun out qualifying with it, but they've made it work for the race.
Well, she finished a short track best 11th at Iowa in the last short track event that we had.
Yeah, this is more impressive to me. And even after going to the back there after the pit road speeding penalty, she worked her way up and then was making passes. So she can drive her way into the top 10 here.
Well, and not once tonight has she needed the lucky dog. She has been on the lead lap the entire race. So
very, very solid at a difficult racetrack.
How much of this will translate for her tomorrow night in their first Cup start here?
Well, I think more than that, I think what she's done today in the Cup car has helped her tonight in this race. I think anytime you see somebody running both races, I think that it really shows up in the nationwide race because they get that extra track time, and it's almost like, you step back in the nationwide car, it's got less power, it seems like you can do more with it.
Well, let's check in with our race leaders, crew chief. That's Joey Logano, it's Adam Stevens, and Vince Welch is with Adam.
Real quick with Adam, what do you got left for him here, 17 to go?
I don't know. The outside's been the preferred line on the restart, and having the track position now, I think we can hang on to it.
Here we go, guys, getting ready for the last dash to the finish here at Bristol.
This time by, the pace lights out, and with 16 laps to go, so by the time we come around, there will be 15 laps remaining, and remember, they go about 16 seconds a lap, so it's not going to take long. Don't blink. While we've got a quick moment, let's check in on the ticket to the race because we're heading for Atlanta next week, the big Labor Day weekend bash, and from there we'll go to Richmond for our third night race in a row, then on to Chicago, Kentucky, Dover, Charlotte, and then we'll wrap it up with Kansas, Texas, Phoenix, and close out the season November 17th at Homestead Miami Speedway. If you're in any of those areas, come on out, say hi, and enjoy the race because this has been a good race tonight.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, Kyle Busch doesn't have the race car that could win this race, but he's the driver that could.
Well, we're going to find out. Pace car is off. Joey Logano hits the throttle. Boy, did he shoot well and just jumped all over the 6 of Stenhouse. Look at Kyle. He tried to go high.
Yeah, Stenhouse took him really high off turn 2.
Yeah, Kyle didn't really get a good start, and that allowed an opening there for Stenhouse to jump in.
Side by side. 54 of Busch, underneath him the 2 of Sadler, and Sadler wants to pull up in there, and yes, he will now in front of Trevor Bayne. There's Danica Patrick alongside Sam Hornish Jr., the 2 former IndyCar drivers going side by side. That is for the 11th position. Ryan Blaney, the young rookie, right in front of them in the 36 car, having a great run. He is shown in 10th.
Yeah, he's been very solid all night. Yeah, nothing spectacular, but that's kind of what you want here. But he's just been very, very solid. See Michael Annette in front of him doing a nice job here.